Now, who high, who not? Who gave diddy top? Who walk for cheesecake? Who got biggie shot? Make you top a do cock? Who did he got pop? Who pants be mostly pulled up to the socks? Not Lil Kim, Mace. That puff dressed me up like a gift. Had to walk the cheesecake, so I gotta learn. Hard to be a bad boy when he call you buttercup. Try to get a man a hug, he wanna cuddle up. Still trying to figure out why we call you pup. You ever seen a grown man playing double dutch? Wow. I'm the D to the A to the DDY. What you think I'm gonna do with that cheesecake pie? I call all the shots, Biggie Smalls and Pox. Got poked by the locks, that's how I lost a rock. Kid cut the car, got blown in a parking spot. Think you back at Cassie, not on my watch. 10 years from now, I'll be sitting in a box. Yo, but even then, I still won't stop. Yeah. I don't know what they want to eat, but the pussy he want cheesecake, and me he want them cheese. I don't know what they want to eat, but the pussy he want cheesecake, and me he want them cheese.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That shit is still funny to me. That shit will never not be funny to me. I'm sorry. Yeah. How's it going, everybody? That shit just puts me in a fucking mood, man. Like, I don't know who designed that shit, like, personally, but goddamn, man, I can't watch enough of that video. I mean, even the computer animation, that shit's not easy. I'm sure that shit's hard to do. And yeah, I I can't ever hear the word cheesecake the same ever again now because of shit. All right, so what are we talking about today? All right, we got a few things on the fucking horizon here. First, we got well, not first, but whatever. We got Steve Nigg. We're gonna talk about. Yeah, it's his real name, Steve Nigg, and he is the prison pedo hunter. Now, this guy is so badass that a amount of hundreds. There's like a cell, a doc of about 200 chomos that wrote a petition in jail to get this dude out of their cell and to a different division. That's how terrified they were of this fucking chomo basher. So there's also a guy serving time who was known as the Alaskan Avenger. He basically he had also dealt with that shit in his past, so he got a manifest online, of all the registered people with serious, pedo crimes, and so he would break in with a hammer and shit, and just bash, and then tell them, I think he left them alive just so they'd learn the lesson, and yeah, he's serving time right now, and they managed to swipe off 5 years off of his case. We're trying to get, more petitions signed to help this dude out. If I had money, dude, I'd put it on his books every fucking day, man. Because, yeah, I agree with the sentiment that once you cross that line, you're no longer a human being in my eyes. Like, I don't see you as human anymore. If you can do what they do to defenseless kids, and this is why Christy Nome is gonna. I mean, with her story about killing her 14-month-old puppy, it's like, why in the fuck would you write that down on a piece of paper and think people are gonna love this? And then she tries to keep saying like, oh, well, the fake news is just spinning it. No, sweetheart, they just reading it off of what you said. And for anyone that can try to say that they believe that they are, strong, simply because they killed defenseless animals. You know, that I don't know. I really don't know. So we're also gonna check out, you know, some more police brutality shit, and just try to make sense of some shit that we have on TikTok. So let's start off with the interview with Steve Nigg, and yeah, basically, Steve Nigg was the guy that managed to find Jared from Subway and beat the dog shit out of him within an inch of his life. If you guys remember, Jared Fogel from Subway, he got locked up and is doing, you know, like a 40-year stint or whatever. And the funniest thing is that he ended up going over to Inglewood Prison, which is where Steve Nigg was. And so, yeah, I'll let him tell the story, but it is pretty fucking ironic that they sent Jared Fogel to the one man that has had literal petitions signed out of fear against this guy. And he was 60 at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you want to run us through what happened with this situation with Jared Fogel, man?
I had already been in the shoe. Everybody knows what a shoe is, right?
So, it's the special housing unit.
Yes.
Were you in the shoe on disciplinary?
Yes, I was. The first prison I was in was Sandstone, Minnesota. They actually got a petition. The child molesters got a petition to get me moved out of there. They all, a couple hundred signed it.
A couple hundred?
Yeah, and I got a couple there. But those COs in Minnesota, they some tough ass boys. They just looked the other way anytime I did something.
That a lot of COs tend to actually hate pedos just as much as the cons do, but they have to stay away from it. He'll explain why.
But I ended up getting transferred to Colorado, Inglewood, and that's when I've been in the shoe maybe 3 or 4 times there already for smashing chomos, and I was trying to go up and go to a medium, and they just wouldn't do it because I only had like 3 points, 4 points, and you need like 15 to go to medium. So then they said, we heard that Jared was coming there. So I got my car together. And I said, all right, guys, there's no way. I'm old school.
For those of you that don't know what a car is, it's just like a crew. It's the people that you are affiliated with while you're locked up.
There's no way that this chomo Jared's going to walk his yard with me in it. I can't do that. And I said, anybody want to put in any work? And nobody in my car wanted to put the work in because they're all
putting in work means, hey, anybody want to beat his ass for me? I'll take care of you if you do it.
All scared of that hate crime getting 5 more years. So I just said, all right, I'll do it.
So were you holding the keys at that point?
In that joint, it wasn't too much of a key holder. Just because I was older, if there was trouble, I'd solve it. Unless it couldn't be solved, then we'd have to get down. But it was a pretty mild joint, really.
Yeah. So you guys knew about Jared from Subway, and you guys found out he was coming to the prison that you were at before he even landed?
Yes. You came from Indiana. That's where you went to court. And the COs let us know he was coming.
So the COs let you know that this famous chomo was headed to your yard?
Yes. Hey, COs hate chomos just as much as we do. They just can't do much because, and I've seen it happen, where they lose their job, they get sued, they get charges. So they're really strapped more than we are. We could at least do it and get away. Just go to shoe, get transferred, whatever, big deal. But they have.
Now, when he says it's not a big deal to get transferred, try to keep in mind he has been transferred 7 times for 7 different chomos.
I have a lot more to lose.
So you went to your car, and these youngsters were all too scared of losing some good time or getting an extra 5 years on a hate crime.
Right.
And so you were just like, okay, I got this.
Right. And they weren't sure. They didn't think I was. And he got there, and he was there some weeks. He was in a different unit. I finally called him on the athletic field. So I waited. He was out walking, and he had a couple of guys that always hang with him, his so-called bodyguards. And
Bodyguards?
What's hilarious is that this piece of shit was running around thinking that he was like, you know, cool shit because he had chomo bodyguards. It's a true story. That's fucking hilarious.
And they were chomos.
Who else was gonna accept him?
And I just got out of the shoe for beating one of them up, beating the hell out of them. So I just started jogging, and I went right past them. Then I turned around and just went at him, and the people that were around him, they ran like hell because they knew who I was and knew what I was there for.
Great bodyguards.
Yes. His bodyguards went running.
Went running. They left him cold.
Do you think he was paying these chomo bodyguards?
Oh, he's definitely paying them. That was, everybody knew that. Yeah, he went to commissary, got him everything he wanted, sent money on their books. He was trying to organize all the child molesters too, which is another thing that got me. Tell him, yeah, you could go in the weight pit. We could do everything we want because we didn't. When I lift weights, I don't let the chomos in there, so we lift weights.
Oh, no.
And he was trying to organize them. You know, he thought he was a big shot.
So are these like, I've never heard of chomo enforcers before, bro. Like, are they halfway tough chomos at least?
You know, out of the 21 chomos that I beat the hell out of,
21.
I only had 3 that could fight. And
Yeah, I love that he even mentions that. Let's keep in mind these people go after children for a reason, and 1, because they're sick in the head, 2, because it's an easy target, and people like that, you know, damn well can't fight because that's why they choose, you know, the weaker prey, because they know damn well if they were to step up with a real fucking adult, they get their ass whooped. And I've seen this shit, and I've noticed this shit, that those that play this tough ass role and always try to not necessarily tough ass role, but a lot of these motherfuckers, when they get their ass whooped, and it's like they know they deserve it because they really don't even fight back. Sometimes when you just fighting a straight up bitch, they don't fight back. You literally and I agree, you should not fucking pull back just because they don't fight back. I don't give a fuck. You don't fight back? That's too bad for you, bro. And it's fucking pathetic that, you know, he thought he'd have some sort of fucking cred in fucking prison.
And 2 of them called me out. Because after I beat the hell out of Jared, they transferred me to Arizona prison. And I smashed this one chomo there named Jeff Durant. You might know remember his father. This guy tried to act like Jerry because of stardom. His dad was Don Durant, who played in that show, TV show, #1 TV show in 59 and 60 called Johnny Ringo.
Now, yeah, I remember Johnny Ringo. He was also a character in Tombstone. But it just goes to show you these are the types, you know, the nepos. It's funny how these nepo fuckers always seem to end up pedo fuckers, because yeah, they have this world on a silver platter, and they just believe that people are there for them, you know, and it's just this insane cycle. And I think, you know, celebrity worship only exacerbates that fucking thing. But It is really true. Old schoolers will ask you for your paperwork. Old schoolers still check up on that shit. When you get locked up, one of the first things you're going to deal with is about paperwork. You got to make sure that your paperwork is there and it ain't got nothing about, domestics and nothing about no kids. If it's anything to do with women and kids, we go hard at you because, like no one's saying that they're going to go right after you and beat you up. But when push comes to shove, if you do something stupid, we know who you are and ain't nobody going to fucking back it up. We'll wait till it's like, all right, you almost killed a motherfucker. Okay, now we're going to pull you back. And that's just straight up real. That's how it works. We had one guy in my block, this really loud Puerto Rican kid, he was fucking like 60 years old, 55 years old, thinking he was 30, always trying to test people. And I had shouted at him at least 3 different times because he hung with, this little Puerto Rican car over in the corners. And so, like, on the left corner, you had, like, Puerto Ricans. On the right, you had blacks. And then, in the front, everyone's just kind of mixed up. But I remember we had one specific piece of shit that was just all talk, never shut the fuck up. And, Boricua this, Boricua that. Shut the fuck up, dude. We're in fucking jail. Just let us watch Price is Right and shut the fuck up. Back then, Price is Right was on in the morning. I can't believe that shit's on later now. What the fuck? But that's how it is. And it's the same thing with, like, the cops themselves when we say y'all fucking you ain't shit without that badge. And, speaking of cowards, I mean, that's what you are. You're a straight up coward. If you go for a softer prey, if you're going after weaker people, you're a fucking coward. That's just who you are. If you can't pick on your own fucking size. So, the police have this scary ass amount of authority sometimes, where in certain states, the police can literally tell a judge, no, he's gonna serve this or whatever. And the judge will apologize and give that poor bastard another 15, It's the amount of relationships and connections is exactly why we need term limits. Term limits on, federal fucking positions would guarantee, a cycling of fucking, leadership. That way you can't just have one dude getting all these relationships with the wrong fucking people and now everybody's in bed with everybody. If you have term limits, that shit won't play. It won't matter how much power you got because you're only going to have it for this election. And if you ain't voted back, you're fucked. So, and even if you do succeed, you got one more fucking term, 4 years, and you out. That's how term limits should work. And that way we won't have to worry about corruption and all these fucking inside deals from people that have been fucking quote unquote friends for 30 odd years. And look at Clarence Thomas, the moment he became a Supreme Court judge, look at all the billionaire friends that suddenly became his friend, and that's why John Oliver offered him the most expensive RV in the world to just fucking quit, take the RV and just fuck off. You've already got enough of whatever you needed. Take you and your whale wife and fuck off. Fucking disgusting people. Now, like I said, speaking of cowards, we're going to watch this. This is an 18-year-old girl being, quote unquote, assisted out of her car. And I mean, this is an 18-year-old white girl.
In South Whitley, Indiana, near Fort Wayne, that cop just threw that teenage girl to the ground.
How old are you?
18.
Good job, you're going to jail.
The officer said she had...
And you see the enjoyment that these motherfuckers get out of it. out of the abuse of power, the amount of fucking force they throw on weaker people because they're fucking cowards. And just to say congratulations, you're going to jail. It's like that motherfucker wanted this to happen. And yeah, let's just continue.
Been speeding and took too long to produce her ID.
Can you please grab my phone?
That's the reason for pulling her
You're now going to
out the
jail.
car.
Do you understand? You don't get to sit there and tell me how I'm going to do my job. Do you understand?
Moments
Look
later,
at
the
that.
girl's father arrived.
Want to give me her ID, want to give me her registration. So she was assisted out of the vehicle.
Assisted.
About 5 minutes out, maybe 4.
Well, the cop has now been assisted off the police force. It turns out the officer has a history of violence and that city officials knew it in advance. Oops.
You can see it on that motherfucker. Now, this is what happens, just like with, it's just like with the clergy, These people will have a history of really fucked up behavior and terrible fucking patterns of behavior. And rather than kicking them the fuck off the force and saying, hey, the world needs plenty of fucking, janitors, get your ass out of here. And fucking instead they get transferred. That's all they'll do. They'll get all of these community complaints. And rather than having to face that community, which is what should happen, we should be able to have some sort of civil trial, and that community itself would be invited to the court to witness. And if they fucking have their own stories, go ahead and say it. But it shouldn't just be a slap on the wrist. It shouldn't be a transfer. You should straight up have to deal with your fucking people. You're here to protect, right? So you should have to deal with it. And I remember, like, good cops. So this is not that I have a problem with all cops. I had one lady. I remember I ran to her because I was gonna get expelled if I was late for fucking school again. I couldn't have any more cuts, and I was just honest with her, and she straight up drove me to school. And because it was a cop car, I ended up looking kind of badass. That a policeman had to bring me to school. And it's fucking hilarious because, like, my division was already so fucked up. I mean, when you came in, I was in the demo division, so we had, crooks and convicts and baby mamas and, real hood motherfuckers. That's where they throw you, in a demo division. And what was awesome is that I had a division teacher that was also a demo, because he was actually also a guy that went to Mather and was expelled because of beating up a guy for tagging. And he ended up, so we used to call him Cotter, because it was like Welcome Back Cotter. And this dude was dope. And he would actually show us his tags and shit, and show us, he wasn't proud of his old gangbanger fucking mentality, but he knew that that's how he could get, to talk to us, because that's the only way you're going to get through to these kids, is to be familiar. So he would talk about how he got locked up and shit. And we had one kid who literally was cuffed to his fucking chair. I don't know what the deal was with that. I didn't even ask. I don't even fucking know. It was something to do with the police inside the school, and he had pulled some shit. I don't know. But it was hilarious. I had a division where my teacher is a former gangbanger, and everybody in there, I swear I had, like, if you ever seen any corny ass late 90s kind of movie about teenagers, like High School High or fucking Dangerous Minds, that's pretty much, cholos, fucking, a lot of just regular fucking people, man. All right, so finally, this is the last thing I wanted to bring up, and it's pretty much just like something that I think MAGA just does not understand. So let me show you where this came from. Now, this guy made a video that was basically saying that the reason why Trump is such an asshole is because it's been around 6 months since 7 months since he's seen Putin. So he might be pregnant and going through some real hormonal problems. That was fucking hilarious. But leave it to MAGA to fucking flip out about it. And all this became this huge complaint. Now, this person writes, Biden supporters are so afraid of Trump because he's going to close the border and stop sexual trafficking or child sexual trafficking. Right. Because why? The guy was literally on Epstein's manifest more than anyone else, including the Clintons. And the thing that they don't understand is that the opposition, you know, us on the right side of history that want women to have fucking autonomy over their bodies and want all of us to have fucking some say in shit. What they don't understand about us is that we are not obsessed with Biden. We don't give a fuck about Biden. Him as a person, we don't give a fuck what he's eating. If he had a fucking Twitter account where he posts all the time, we wouldn't be reading it. All right? It's a total different thing. We call you a cult because you act like a cult. You are flipping out about stupid ass shit that is literally satire. Satire is meant to be funny, making fun of something. All right, it's no big deal. But just like Trump, who has never shown up to a correspondence dinner since what, 2021, I think, or 2011? I don't remember. But yeah, Seth Meyers made fun of him so bad, he never came back. And then when he was a president, he didn't go to his own fucking correspondence dinner. So it's always these weak ass cowards that have the biggest fifis in the fucking world and cry about everything. And this is what you don't understand is we are not like you. We don't look at Biden and think Jesus. We look at Biden and think, it's better than Trump. That's it. That's all we think about Biden for the most part. Now there's some Biden lovers out there. There's Oprah lovers out there. I think they're all fucking crooks. So, you know, the fact that it just goes right past them. And I could get into, you know, all of the political conspiracies that are real, you know, from Great Depression, because they're putting all the rich guys were putting their money into fucking places like fucking in foreign countries, like Germany, World War II, Pearl Harbor, USS Liberty, Vietnam, killing of the revolutionists like MLK, Malcolm X, JFK, RFK, all within the same 4 years. The Reagan administration, Bush's, Clinton's, Bush v. Gore 2000, 9/11, and beyond. We've been lied to over and over and over again that we're fed up with this shit. All right? You should not be staring over at this fat, bloated retard that literally shits himself and benefits from child trafficking, hangs out with child traffickers, and you guys will completely bypass that. I don't think you would you even fucking trust your own uncle if you found out that he was on Epstein's flight manifest over 35 times? That's fucking creepy. Nobody that gets sued over 4,000 times is innocent. You would not. And so the fact that they try to say it's all a setup, dude, this has been accumulated since the 80s. All right? The motherfucker doesn't like you. He would never help you if you were on fire and he had to piss. He would still piss on a wall just so you would burn to death. That's who these people are. They take puppies and shoot them rather than raise something, go through the effort of supporting it. And that is really how I wanted to end today's episode, because that's just the way it fucking is. And if you guys agree with me, please share what I have to say, because, you know, the algorithms that are out right now are purposely designed to take away. Right now, they're looking for the word revolution. They are specifically going through text messages. And then when 702 got passed, they're fucking looking through text for special, specific words. So if you want to fuck with the government or you want to be on their list, write revolution a million times on a fucking Google search. And you will probably be on a fucking FBI file or at least on a hard drive somewhere in Quantico. All right? Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay free. And I see you on the other side. Most of all, please stay cheesy, my friends. And enjoy the Diddy video because it's probably the last time I can play it. I'm going to try to play it tomorrow too. Peace.
Now, who high, who not? Who gave Diddy time? Who walk for cheesecake? Who got Biggie shot? Make you time for do cock? Who Diddy got blocked? Who pants be mostly pulled onto the socks? Not Lil Kim, Mace. That puff dressed me up like a gift. Had to walk the cheesecake, so I gotta learn. Hard to be a bad boy when he call you Buttercup. Try to get a man a hug, he wanna cuddle up. Still trying to figure out why we call you Puff. You ever seen a grown man playing double dutch? Wow. I'm the D to the A to the DDY. What you think I'm gonna do with that cheesecake pie? I call all the shots. Biggie Smalls and Pox got poked by the locks. That's how I lost a rock. Kid Cudi car got blown in a parking spot. Think you bag of Cassie, not on my watch. 10 years from now, I'll be sitting in a box. Yo, but even then, I still won't stop. Yeah.